Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to another interesting episode of the White Blood Panorama on your favorite channel, White Blood Multimedia. I'm your host, Umar Isa Dandago. Well, political scientists believe that the power of politics cannot be underestimated or undervalued. This is because whether we know it or not, politics affects us all, either directly or indirectly. My guest today is Rabi'u, former president of Arewa Student Union in New Delhi, the capital city of India. And we are going to be talking a lot about things, most of which are related to politics. First of all, the struggle they had before establishing the organization that is the Arewa Student Union in Delhi, and whether or not it has served its purpose. Second of all, as the 2023 general elections are underway, we are going to be talking about the youth's participation in the political affairs of the country. So the biggest question we're going to be asking is, are the youths of Nigeria ready to lead? Well, let me welcome Comrade Nura Rabi'u for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for inviting me.
Well, I can see you smiling because I mentioned the word comrade. I don't know, it has been trending on social media and people have been giving it a kind of different name, yes, different meaning, something like that. Yes, yes. Do you consider yourself a comrade?
In what definition?
Well, a lot of people believe that anybody who claims to be working for the people, to serve the people, can be called comrade.
Yes, in that aspect, I will call myself comrade. But in the aspect of Facebook and Twitter, I'm not a comrade.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So let's kick off the show. The reason why I said that people who claim to be serving the people is because, for the benefit of our audience, you served as the first, I think, president of Arewa Student Union in Delhi, yes, something that we're going to be talking about in the course of the program. And we're going to try and find out whether or not it was restricted to only those students who are studying in that part of the country, New Delhi, Greater Noida, and other parts of that part of India. But before we come to that, let me start by this one. Before we dive deeply into the crux of the discussion, let's take a brief look at the issue of self-reliance and entrepreneurship. You have done your bachelor's and master's degrees in India. Now you're preparing for your PhD, but you are, to the best of my knowledge, into farming, something that a lot of young people are not paying attention to. Take us through it. Why are you interested in farming? Why have you ventured into it?
You ask me of self-reliance. And now we are in a developing country, not a developed country. So the first important thing is to realize where are our own lapses.
Okay.
Our own lapses lie on our reliance on government, which the pressure on the government cannot sustain the entire people in the Nigerian territory. So when we took up this challenge, that's degree apart, self-reliance is important. I remember in 2018 or 2019, when Dangote Cement advertises that it needs drivers, and people about 8 or 9 with PhD applied.
Wow.
Yes.
Somebody with a PhD.
Yes, 9
applying for
not one
for
two,
a job as a driver.
As a truck driver.
Driver. Oh my God. Where is the connection?
Cement from Obajana down to the north, or to Ghana, or to elsewhere where they will be directed to.
No, shouldn't those guys with PhD be employed to serve in the offices in order to help boost the economy of Dangote's company?
But there are a lot of PhDs working for him, so there are no vacancies. I think last 2022 broadcast, the president told the youth truth. There are no vacancies in the government sectors. So the private sectors.
Oh.
If the government is full, you don't expect the private sectors to be empty.
Should the president have said that? Looking at the Nigerian youths directly and said, hey, there is no job for you.
But he told them to go back to the farm.
Oh.
Because Nigeria does not produce ordinarily rice that is becoming, which is a substantial food in all aspects of the country, whether you are from south or north, you on daily basis need rice. About 5.5 million metric tons are needed for Nigeria. But only at this level from 2015 we were able to produce 3.6. Now we still import 1.9 million metric tons. And 1.9 million metric tons, I'm telling you, if 2 million youths come up, they can't even produce it. So the space is very wide. You have other aspects in terms of agriculture, which involves the poultry, fruits production. A lot are there. So there is no point where you will keep applying to 20 different parastatals with one CV of a salary of a startup greater than 100,000, when you can make 100,000 each 3 or 1 week.
So if I understand you right, you followed the advice of the president. I don't know whether it was an advice or an order or just a statement. You took it upon yourself to just go to farm and start farming.
Yes, even before he told the Nigerian youth, he told me, I told you.
Oh, you had a meeting with him face to face?
Yes, he told me that.
When was it?
That was in October 2019, I told him. He said that you should go to the farm because we need to produce what we eat and then we export to to our neighboring countries.
Did you believe him then when he told you that face to face?
Of course I do believe him, because what I look at that time was there was no enough food. See, from 7,000, because of the border closure, rice skyrocketed to 25 up to 30,000
per sack.
50 kg of rice. Because now this is showing you how much backward we are. When they ask us to produce what we eat, then it becomes a problem.
Yes.
Fertilizer from 5,000 to 18,000. These are things that are manufactured locally.
So which means the government needs to step in and support the system.
The government is doing its very best. I'm not here to...
Are you protecting the government?
I'm not here to protect the government.
No, you're saying it's doing its best while the people are complaining.
I'm going to tell you what you don't know. I am a farmer.
Okay.
So people will apply for the farmer loan, for the agricultural equipment, fertilizers and all. They will be given that as a subsidized rate. The fertilizer NPK will come at the rate of 5,000 or 4,000. Someone will sell it at the rate of 10,000. And letting it the market, he don't care, he's not going to the farm.
So they apply
and the government
for the loans, but they don't use it appropriately, judiciously.
Yes, then the government does not ensure full that what it has given has been purely utilized.
If that is the case, then you shouldn't be protecting the government.
Not what I'm saying, it's doing its best, because see, we are the government. There are no different people.
When you say we, what do you mean?
There are no different people that are running the government. You may be served as the head of agric in other state, and the equipment and other goods will be flown to you. So the Minister of Agriculture cannot be in the entire 36 states during the 1 month to ensure proper use of those equipments. So the head of that state is expected to be the minister. Make sure that that are being distributed to the right individuals.
Okay.
Of course, yes. But if you said that the minister has to ensure full responsibility of being, he cannot. That's why they have people at different levels to assist, from the head of agriculture or representative or whoever it may be of the federal government in that state to distribute those materials.
So has the government employed those quote-unquote independent monitors who would serve as their own eyes and ears on the ground here?
Yes, there are locally people that have been employed. They collide with their own people. So you see, the government also is not willing to. For example, if you really wish to make sure that there is 100% compliance of that order to use those materials that have been used, then you should, for example, people from Lagos, bring them to Kano, let them work. Not say you employ Kano people or the same local people to make sure there is 100% compliance. The ethics does not work like that.
So how should it be?
There should be people from there will ensure that they work here and they pause or they report anybody who does not.
Nobody would agree with you, because it wouldn't make sense to employ somebody from Lagos and deploy him to Kano to work.
Okay.
Because you quite know it of this Hausa proverb which says that Angari akan ci gari. It's important to invite.
That is why.
Don't look at it the other way. Okay. It's important to invite the people of the Kano, the local people of Kano state, of any state, to work in their own state instead of asking somebody to come from a faraway place.
Have you ever obtained loan from the bank?
Well,
no.
Yep, no.
So, did you tell the bank who they will send to monitor what they have given you the money to do? Or do you
tell us
the government?
How does the process work?
When you apply for a loan in the bank, for example, in agricultural sector, at their own discrepancy, they will send whomever they wish from any part of the country to be the observer or whatsoever that may come. And you don't tell them no. So if that is working for the private sector, why won't it work for the government?
Good. Okay, so before we move on to the other part of the interview, which is talking about your role as the first president of Arewa Student Union in Delhi, one more thing finally, very briefly. How important is it for people like you, graduates who have finished universities, probably degree, masters or even PhD, to forget about looking for any job from the government and start investing in themselves?
It's very important. If you really want to be the change you wish to see, so it has to start with you. If you are self-dependent, you don't have to have a boss. Simply, everybody has an elder, but not a boss who will determine your future. You know, the youth, if 70% of the, let's say 50% of the youth will take up this challenge to be self-dependent. They will be part of the politics and decision making. Because they don't need any money. If I have enough, except for greediness, I will look for extra.
Okay.
If I have enough, 50% of the youth have enough, I'm telling you, and they are able to come off of age, they will change what people think cannot be changed.
Okay. Thank you very much. Indeed, let's move on to the second part of the interview, which is talking about your organization, your association of students. I don't know, when did you go to India to study?
That was very long, 2013.
2013?
Yes.
So, what did you study?
I studied in my bachelor's, I studied physiotherapy, and when I come to master's, I studied neuroscience.
Neuroscience,
so
good field.
And I graduated in 2021.
Good.
So, you know, due to the COVID pandemic, a lot has been affected during my research work. So that has delayed me with almost 6 months.
Okay.
So because the hospitals are locked and Other neuro centers are also locked, so no access to patients and other old age people.
Okay.
So that's
good. I know of your friend Aisha Sarki, who also studied physiotherapy. Yeah, of course.
Yes.
I think you did. I think you studied in the same
university.
Yes, of course. Yes. That's good. She's doing wonderfully well, and I'm sure she will one day be on the show.
Okay. Yes, obviously.
Well, let's talk about this. How did you come up with this idea of creating or having or establishing or setting up this organization of US Arewa Student Union in Delhi? When was it? How did you come with the idea?
See, I always tell people, it wasn't my intention to form any association named the Arewa Student Association.
So whose idea was it?
It came from a critical and a very tight situation.
Okay.
I was the vice president of the African Student Association.
African Student Association
in India, then 2017. Of course, you know, when people finish, they may want, when someone finishes, he may want to put his vice there or whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I wanted to contest. But you know, the problem in politics, some people want you to always bow down.
Okay.
That's what I call boss and godfatherism.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if, for me, I don't find it relevant in politics, except if you want to lose your value. So there was a lot of people that kick against it, which are only part of the board. That you don't do this, you don't, you know, all that's what they will start from.
So you're saying that there was an influence of outside politics into your own association?
Of course, yes. Then, okay, I said, why are you people telling me that this is a democratic world and I want to contest? Let me contest. If I lose, that's all.
Who was the president of the association then when you were deputizing him?
One person called Edmondo Pereira, but he was from Guinea-Conakry.
Okay.
But I will tell you, my brothers kick against me, Nigerians.
So the Nigerians
kick against me.
They were not interested in you? They were not supporting you?
I don't know for them, but they were not supporting me.
Okay.
Someone openly tell me a Fulani will not become the president.
Are you a Fulani?
Maybe they thought, but my father is so. Okay. So they just, they categorize Northerners as Fulani or Hausa. That's all.
I don't know. I'm confused. How is it possible for you, the teeming youths that are studying abroad, to not be united? How is it possible that still the kind of division and disunity that we're experiencing in Nigeria is also manifested there, outside, abroad?
Not at all level, you understand. But it happens to the level that if interest is not covered, then it comes out.
So you are not there to protect their interests?
I'm there to protect the masses' interest, not few godfathers' interest.
So that's why you left that African association?
I didn't left. I asked them, let's have the election. We had several meetings with more than 30 ambassadors to Africa to settle this. When one day we had meeting from 11 a.m. till 7 p.m. One day we have series of meetings, but people will behave. This will be absent. This will come, then this will bring another issue. Okay, I said, we are going to tackle this.
How did you tackle it?
We are the majority.
When you say we, what do you mean? The Nigerians?
The Nigerians
Or
are
the
the
people from the
majority.
north?
The Nigerians are the majority.
Okay.
Then we come up to form the Nigerian Student Association. Then they said that you cannot form Nigerian Student Association. You have to go and join the Nigerian business community.
Okay.
It's not possible.
Yeah.
As a student, we can't join them. You know, everywhere business community is a different community from student community.
Sure.
So you can't expect us to
join the business
join
community.
them.
Okay.
Then we came up with the idea. Okay, let us come with this as a socio-cultural organization or association whatsoever. Even when we sought to form this, there was a lot of yes or no, even from the authorities. But thanks to the then ambassador, who, because he's a former military person.
Okay. So Nigerian ambassador?
Yes.
What's his name?
His Excellency Major General Chris Sunday, retired.
Okay.
But he understood the culture, since you know because of his background. So he understood this does not have to do with anything like tribalism or something. And because if it is tribalism, he couldn't have seen me in the right from joining the Association of African Students, trying to be the president and so many things.
Yes.
So he was the backbone of the support, and the association was formed.
The Nigerian Association?
No, the Arewa Student Association.
Okay, good.
With the help of my colleagues, around 6 people. And in 2018, that was 2018, and we just then, it spreads like a wildfire.
You started with a few number of members, like 6 as you said?
And then before the end of the year, the association has went round the entire India.
So it wasn't only for the students living or studying in
Delhi NCR,
Delhi area?
No.
So
it has covered the entire India, and it has representation in almost all the Indian states.
Good.
So even as of now, it has that.
Okay, that's really good. How did that politics affect your academic performance? Because you just talked about having a series of meetings, some from early hours of the morning, until something like late hours of the evening. How did it affect your academic performance?
I joined that politics when I had the interest of doing masters, which gives me enough time. I joined in 2017 when I am about to conclude. I even concluded my classes. I have the internship to do.
Okay.
So that means I have more time in extracurricular activities.
So that
was how I come with it.
And briefly, who are now running the organization, the association there?
Well, our secretary is there. I think he's one of the important people in the association. And the PRO is there whenever information emerges to come. And other members of the executive and governing body are there also.
So if I understand you, there is no president there now?
There is no president as of now.
So your organization is not politically, it's not fully democratic?
No. You know,
there should have been elections when you left.
There will be elections, but you understand that we had tried to do election twice. But the COVID-19 protocol at that time does not allow us to have a massive gathering.
Why didn't you do it online?
Personally, I am afraid of malpractice.
Okay.
And when I told the body, the executive body, they also believe me.
Somebody would say you're trying to cover your own tracks. You're trying to just,
What
of
am
course,
I-
protect your own interests.
What am I gaining?
You tell us.
That's what you should ask. I am spending my own money to see the association has been lifted. So why will I be there sitting on the same chair? I also need to have some money in my bank account.
But many people may think that you must have some support from the Nigerian ambassadors, Nigerian embassy in India, and some top Nigerian businessmen and women doing business in India who want to see the interests of you and their students prevail.
Honestly, no.
Okay.
If you talk about financial support, no.
Okay.
But in terms of support of documents or any support that may arise in terms of going to any other office, they have been at a very good position and they have been helpful.
Including the Nigerian High Commission?
Yes, I am referring to them.
Okay, you're referring to them.
Yes.
Okay, briefly before I let you go, how significant is it to have an association similar to yours, not just in India but in any other country around the world, because you have a team of young people leaving their own home, studying somewhere far away from even their own continent. They need guidance, they need support, they need something like that. So how significant is it to have it?
See, it's very important because if you don't know yourself at a country or a place that is not your home, you cannot help each other. And no matter how your status is at that place, you must need help one day or the other. And knowing each other will help you know the culture of that society and then avoid what the society does not want.
Okay.
So you live in peace with that society. So what would the people say when you went to Rome? Just live like a Rome. Because so you will not be a problem to that society. They have their own culture, thousands of years before you come. Just because you have your own, you cannot come and disturb the public or cause nuisance because you want to show them your culture or you want to show them how you do your own things in your own country. So you can't just. So it's very important to come up together, know your challenges, know what the society you are living in wants and its do's and don'ts, so you will live in peace.
So you are helping the students out there to know the do's and don'ts of India, so that they can stay and live in peace.
Yes.
Briefly, finally, as the 2023 general elections are underway, how do you see the participation of youths in Nigeria, given your experience of politics?
If the youths will only unite, that is only when they will succeed. But youths will.
You don't sound optimistic.
Of course, they are not united.
Okay, is it not the...
And the poor leadership role that has been given to the youth right from the beginning of the democracy in the country has led to that. They haven't been given access to a very good education. They haven't been given access to a very good welfare in terms of living and governance. So that has led to a very poor leadership role of the youth. And they did not understand the core problem that they have to unite. The youth can form a political party. So when they form a political party with 20 Naira support, we have over 50 million youths in Nigeria. Almost 100 million. So when they are supporting 20 Naira, how much will it come at the end with 20 Naira? So how many political parties, if they have one political party, how many candidates will they sponsor from election, from primary election to the secondary election? How many youths?
So do you think Nigerian youths can help mitigate the problems Nigerians are facing?
Even themselves, not even to talk of about, they have to sort it among themselves before going into the Nigeria's problem.
Okay.
And we have to be less greedy. Yes, whether you have this mansion or that, when you die, you are going on a white piece of cloth. Whether you are a Muslim or Christian or whosoever you belong to, whatever you have when you die, it becomes valueless.
Well, thank you very much indeed, Comrade Rabi'u Nura Rabi'u, for being on the program. It's a pleasure having you.
It's my pleasure having you.
Well, that's the end of my interview with Comrade Rabi'u Nura Rabi'u for his on this program of the White Blood Panorama on White Blood Multimedia. On behalf of everyone that has contributed to the production of the program and the big boss Zainab Abdurrahman May Agogo, I am Umar Isa Dandago saying have a wonderful day ahead. Goodbye.